The Mississippi is not a commonplace river, but on the contrary is in all ways remarkable. With the Missouri as its main branch, it is the longest river in the world. It seems safe to say that it is also the crookedest, since in one part of its journey, it uses up 1,300 miles to cover the same ground that the crow would fly over in 675.
Throughout the long 1,300 miles, there was never a page of this book that was void of interest. Never one that you could leave unread without loss. Never one that you would want to skip, thinking you could find higher enjoyment in some other thing. There never was so wonderful a book written by man. Never one whose interest was so absorbing, so unflagging, so sparkingly renewed with every rereading. To the trained eye, this was the grimmest and most dead earnest of reading matter.
Two things seem pretty apparent to Sam. One was that in order to be a pilot, a man had got to learn more than any one man ought to be allowed to know. And the other was
that he must learn it all over again in a different way every 24 hours.
Sam received his official riverboat pilot certificate in 1859. His run took him back and forth between New Orleans and St. Louis, and he was soon earning $250 a month.
That's as much as the Vice President of the United States earned, and more money than my father ever made in his life.
San Francisco Bay. Yes, ocean liners gone so far away. I didn't mean to treat her so bad. She was the best girl that ever had. said goodbye, gonna make me cry, gonna lay down and die. Ain't got a nickel and I ain't gonna lose a dime. If she don't come back, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. If she never come back to stay, it's gonna be another brand new day. Oh, walking with my baby down beside San Francisco Bay. San Francisco Bay.
Sam became vain about his looks, bought expensive clothes, began speculating in commodities, and treated his mother to a trip to New Orleans, where he had developed a taste for fine food and for whiskey.
A pilot is an entirely independent human being. His movements are entirely free. He consults no one. He risks commands from nobody.
He resents even the merest suggestions. So here was the novelty of a king without a keeper, an absolute monarch who was absolute in sober truth and not by a fiction of words.
Nearly 1,000 steamboats plied the Mississippi and its tributaries, carrying more cargo than all the nation's ocean-going vessels combined.
Sam would serve on at least 18 of them, including the White Cloud, the Crescent City, the Arago, the Alex Scott, the City of Memphis, and the John J. Roe.
A boat so slow that we used to forget what year it was when we left port. Ferry boats used to lose valuable trips because their passengers grew old and died, waiting for us to get by. She was dismally slow. Still, we often had pretty exciting times racing with islands and rafts and such things. She was a love of a steamboat, but was never able to overtake the current.